city, people starving to death, children forced to work, but killing him now won't solve anything.
It is not my place to decide his fate, but his betrayal condemned many of my people to death. He promised us salvation, and then left us to face the darkness alone.
I had good reason to break that promise, and I had good reason for the crimes you claim I committed. The day I returned to Albion, I received a visit from a blind seer, Teresa, our father's guide. She showed me the future of this kingdom. The darkness in Aurora is coming here, bringing death, destruction, the end of our way of life. The sacrifices I had to make, I did them to protect Albion. If a few had to suffer, it was to build an army. If a few had to die, it was to save a country. I have spent years preparing for this attack. Let me stand by your side now, and all my soldiers will be yours to command. Let us face the coming darkness, together.
If this is true, if it's really coming here, we are all in grave danger.
You have the power over life and death, brother. Now choose.
This is not the time for revenge. We need your help, Logan.
The king has made his decision. Logan's life will be spared.
I know you will never forgive me for the things I've done. You told me so once, remember?
Of course I do.
But what matters now is that we defend our land. The castle is yours, and so is the throne. I'm glad to be rid of them.
You have fulfilled the first part of your destiny. You were little more than a child when you left the castle. You have become a hero, a leader, and now, finally, a monarch. But your journey is not yet done. Now you are king. You can know the truth. Albion will soon be attacked, and the threat could be greater. Darkness is coming to our land. It cannot be reasoned with, it cannot be halted. The ruler of Albion is all that stands between the world we inhabit and that darkness. That is why you had to take your brother's place. The course of history demands it. If you do not succeed, everything we know will come to an end.
Why didn't you tell me all this at the start? It was never about Logan, was it?
I told you what you needed to know, and I never spoke anything but the truth. With Logan on the throne, Albion would have been doomed. This much I know. Only with a hero wearing the crown do we stand a chance of survival.
And how do I stop it?
You won't. Its arrival is inevitable. 1 year from now, the darkness will fall upon Albion. All you can do is prepare, and hope to save as many of your people as you can. How you do so is up to you. 2 paths lie ahead. You may keep the promises you have made and be known as a benevolent ruler. But understand that doing so will leave little to spend on the kingdom's protection and may lead you to disaster. It is not easy to be popular and keep the treasury full, unless you are willing to sacrifice your personal wealth. But you may also choose to break those promises, to harm your people in order to save them. You will not lack the means to build the army you need, but you will be hated. This path will cast you in the role of a tyrant, as it did your brother. You have 1 year to do what Logan could not. Be the ruler that readies Albion for the greatest threat it has ever faced, and be the hero that can stand against it.
Your Majesty, I'm not sure what to say after receiving such news. The darkness that is coming. People won't understand what it means. Nobody could, without living through it first. We need to prepare. If we can't stop the attack from happening, we have to be ready when it comes. Having Logan's troops on our side is a good start. But you will need to raise a fortune to pay for the army we'll need. Hobson will show you the treasury, and I'm sure he can explain just how to fill it.
Indeed I can.
Then I will leave you to it. Ben and I will begin recruiting and training soldiers at once.
If you will follow me, Your Majesty. Oh, how I have looked forward to this moment. This is it, Albion's royal treasury, the store of the kingdom's total wealth. It's, well, not as replete as one would like, but just imagine this room shimmering with hills, valleys, and plateaus of gold, a topography of riches going all the way up to the ceiling. It will require nothing less to build this army everyone is talking about. Which brings us to the second item on today's agenda, and one I'm personally very excited about. Setting the tax rate for the coming year. As you probably know, your brother was taxing the people rather heavily, and some say that this has led to poverty, starvation, and other societal ills. You have 3 clear choices, Your Majesty. 1, lower the tax rate, which one could argue would help the poor and the hungry, but would also leave the treasury in a miserable state. 2, maintain Logan's policies. Not a popular move with the people, but moderately popular with the Treasury. And 3, and don't let my enthusiasm influence you in any way, raise the taxes even further. Very well, Your Majesty. A prudent choice. Why upset the status quo? The time for revolution has passed, and people are used to the current rate of poverty and starvation. Those who survive will thank you in the end. But you will still need to raise a lot more gold by other means. Unless you're willing to donate some of your own money to the Treasury. Oh, I'm sorry. I do like a little joke now and then. However you decide to proceed, you should acquaint yourself with the Royal Ledger. It is a logbook that allows the reigning monarch to make deposits and withdrawals from the treasury. A most useful financial tool. But my, look at the time. You really ought to attend to the next item on today's agenda. Riva has a most intriguing proposal for you in Bowerstone Industrial. Now, I know you have had your differences, but it is time to put those behind you and work together. Nobody can raise money like Riva can, I assure you. I have seen to it that your appearance among the populace is well publicized, so expect a crowd.
If I had a friend like you, I could tell them secrets. Like that I'm gonna set you on fire.
Don't tempt me, Weaver.
Oh, happy day! His Majesty, the King of Albion, graces us with his radiant presence. I knew last time we met that you would emerge victorious from such public sibling rivalry. And now here I am to assist you in filling your coffers till they are fit to burst. What better way to begin your reign than by reinstating one of my most successful policies? There is no greater waste than the idleness of our city's youth, but my employment scheme guarantees children of all ages will have something to occupy them, whilst ensuring our factories are properly manned.
It's just monstrous. Don't listen to him. You promised you would end child labor. Remember that promise now.
And what would you have us do with the snotty little indigents?
The only way Bowerstone is going to climb out of the gutter is through education. Nothing is more important to our future than that. Turn this factory into a school. Give the children of this city the chance they never had.
A school? Oh, that's an original thought. Well, if you'd like to be known as a pauper monarch, then by all means, listen to her. Reaver Industries will abide by your decision.
The factory will become a school.
Thank you. We can really start changing people's lives now. This will be an Albion worth fighting for.
I shall begin the necessary modifications at once. Welcome to Reaver Industries Learning Center, Bowerstone Industrial's first ever school. You can now feel secure in the knowledge that your children can become the well-educated automatons you always wanted them to be.
I wrote a pretty good poem.
Hello, sir.
I think they used it to clean up that milk I spilled. Hello, superhero. Don't be wasting my time if you're not spending.
Ah, hello.
How are you, Your Majesty?
Oh, wow. Hello.
My lord.
At your command.
Orders, sir. My lord.
Hello there, Your Majesty.
Is all well, my lord?
At your command.
Ladies and gentlemen, the king. Today, you will decide what is to be done with the Bowerstone Old Quarter, site of the battle for Albion. Paige will offer her proposal. Reaver shall stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, our victory came at a great cost to the city. You vowed to fight poverty, but our actions have made the problem worse. You must act now. I ask that the old quarter be rebuilt and its former residents rehomed. You wouldn't just be helping those in great need. You'd be sending a message to your people. They're scared, Your Majesty. Let them know they can count on you.
Your Majesty, the Old Quarter was indeed devastated by your glorious triumph, but as its name subtly implies, it was old. The cost of rebuilding the area would be a colossal waste of money, and the people who called its decrepit shambles of streets and houses their home are better off without it. Besides, one must question what they have to offer our society. Why build homes for the inept and the unskilled? I recommend...
We destroyed the old quarter. It's only right we rebuild it.
The king has reached his decision. The old quarter shall be rebuilt, and its former residents will have their homes returned.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This will be a very popular move.
I suppose there may be something to be gained by rebuilding part of the city. It shows our sense of industry has not yet been dampened. Very well, Your Majesty. Despite the current climate of fear and great national need, Riva Industries has once again struck a blow for the honest man on the street. The sad sight of the decayed and war-torn Old Quarter is no more. We are proud to present the new Old Quarter.
It breaks one's heart to see the treasury so empty. If we don't do something about it, we will all die. And I have some very definitive retirement plans. As a matter of fact, our very first order of business might have a bearing on our financial situation. The time has come to decide the annual town guard budget. As you can imagine, the people like to complain about crime and the lack of safety on our streets, and are calling for more guards than your brother was ever willing to pay for. You have 3 choices, Your... Very wise, Your Majesty. Better to have a city full of criminals than a city full of very dead people. Let us now turn our attention to the rest of today's business. Here is the royal schedule I have prepared. As you can see, you have a busy day in the court, but a tremendously enjoyable one. Decoration is a passion of mine, and I simply cannot wait to see your choice. The interior designers await you in the throne room.
You're that psycho killer, ain't ya? Don't try any of that murdering business on my watch. Awaiting your command, my lord.
At your service, Majesty.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion. Today you decide on the decor of the castle. 2 of Albion's greatest interior designers have come to present their suggestions.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am Herman Worthy, and I have a design in mind that will blow your little royal socks off. Imagine a celestial scheme capable of lifting the shadows that haunt these halls. A fabulous balance of serene hues that announce to the world,
I wish this to be an enlightened castle.
Oh, fabulous, Your Majesty, fabulous! Your castle will be a vision of purity.
And what's more, fashion and good taste must choke down their nausea.
Sir.
Today you decide on the future of Aurora, Your Majesty. Kaelin will speak for her people. Riva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
I am here to seek the protection you promised. It is too long since my people felt safe, or knew of life without suffering. We were honored to join your fight to claim Albion. Now it is time we joined your kingdom. Do what your brother failed to do. Help us to rebuild Aurora and protect it as...
Aurora will become part of Albion, but they must work for this privilege.
The king has spoken. Aurora shall be mined for resources. Its people shall receive the protection of the throne in exchange for their labor.
You are no better than your brother. He may have left us to die, but you wish only to exploit us.
Welcome to the new and improved Aurora, an oasis of friendship, camaraderie, and valuable resources. Visit the city that Riva Industries rebuilt from sand and tour the local mines, where you can witness the Aurorans' refreshingly vigorous work ethic. Aurora, a gem glowing in the darkness.
A wise decision in court today, Your Majesty. While it is true that your popularity in Aurora has suffered, the people closer to home are not too concerned. This could prove to be a very profitable arrangement. And speaking of Aurora and profits, we may have stumbled upon some very exciting news in that area. It seems that a group of Albion explorers visiting Aurora have discovered a rare diamond in the desert. They heard the legend of this extraordinary gem from the locals, and understandably set out to find it, without a moment's regard for their own lives. Which may go some way to explaining why only one of the explorers returned in one piece. He came back empty-handed, speaking of the hideous desert beings protecting the treasure. Think of the glory, Your Majesty, the adventure, the romance, the large sums of money we stand to make. The diamond is located in one of the caves beneath the Auroran wasteland, reportedly the site of an ancient, abandoned temple. You need only to take it.
At your orders. At your service, my king.
Ah,
I trust you're
it's
well,
our
sir.
mighty king.
How are you today, sir?
Hello,
Your Lordship.
Your Majesty. At your command. Greetings, Your Majesty. For king at your service. Attention. Always a joy to see you.
Greetings, most munificent and mighty sovereign of...
Greetings, sir. Your Majesty?
Oh, don't chop my head off, Your Majesty. I like my head.
Well, I really have to shoot off now.
Good thing you've got the safety on. Hello there, Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
What style of eating do you call that?
Welcome to the sanctuary.
Greetings, Your Majesty. Boo! Oh no! You're so naughty. Get away. We are not. Oh no more!
Oh, what a lovely leg you have. Oh.
I don't trust you, even if you are the king. Boo! We cannot allow Albion to take advantage of us.
Boo!
You look familiar. Oh, yeah, I remember. You look just like this girlie I used to shag! I was hoping you'd come round. I could use it. Ah! You certainly are a big, strong hero, for a lady. My favorite things are music and sunshine and love. And pain. You seem like a very nice person. I kill nice people, you know. If it were up to me, no one would ever get sick.
Welcome to the Sanctuary.
Blue is a good color for you. Yep. You should put on a nice blue... Excuse me, have you got the time to get stuffed?
Your orders, sir. At your command?
At your service.
Sir? Attention! At your orders,
Your Majesty.
Sir.
Greetings,
My
Your
lord.
Majesty.
Your Majesty? Yes, sir.
Ah, Your Majesty. Hello.
It's more beautiful than I dared to imagine. And heavy, too. Our experts estimate it's worth a small fortune. Of course, now the question becomes, what do you wish to do with this fine stone? Shall I deposit the money from the sale into the treasury? A truly selfless act. I am constantly in awe of your generous and noble spirit. Putting the safety of your people before your own reward. Bravo, Your Majesty. Bravo. The Treasury's health is robust, but we must always be wary of unnecessary expenditures and watch out for possible avenues of profit. With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury, and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the treasury high. Is it very good, Your Majesty? Why change things when they are going so well? Perhaps Logan was right in following this course of action. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day. As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reaver's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining.
How good to see you, sir.
All stand to attention for the... This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Paige will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reaver will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival. Isn't it time we held out a helping hand to those...
It is time Bowerstone had its first whorehouse.
The shelter shall become a brothel.
Excellent, Your Majesty. I will see to it immediately. And I mean immediately.
This is exploitation, Your Majesty. Your people won't be pleased.
Does your heart have a sizable hole that can be filled only with love? Do your pockets jingle with leftover gold? Then Reaver Industries is pleased to present the House of Requited Affection, where money really does guarantee happiness.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue, the disposal of the city's waste. Reaver will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late, even more nauseating than usual. I
Morningwood
fear
will be
it is not
granted the
merely
honour
the
of
stench
receiving the
of the
city's sewage.
underprivileged. Bowerstone
King
is
has
beginning
spoken.
to have a serious
The waste from the city of Bowerstone shall be channeled into Morningwood.
I shall begin the flushing immediately, Your Majesty.
Oh, this is heavy. This is totally heavy. You've turned Granny Nature into your toilet bowl. But she'll fight back. You'll see. One day, in like a 1,000 years, she'll fight right back, man.
There is nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Reaver Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Morningwood Sewer Reservoir, eliminating Bowerstone's most pungent pollution. Emptying one's bowels has never been safer or such a pleasure.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left. Page has requested a meeting in the old rebel headquarters. How very cloak and dagger. I wonder what she wants.
Hello, Your Majesty. The king! Wow!
Sir.
Wow! I can't believe it's you!
It's not every day a king walks into the rebel headquarters. You've changed the world since we last stood here. Good. Kid went undercover with a gang of robbers and found out their plans. They're going to strike the tavern in Bowerstone Market. If you get there in time, you can stop the raid. And at least one of those thugs must know where Ferret is holed up.
Sir? Sir?
Greetings, sir.
You have no respect.
You should go somewhere nice and peaceful. Like a cemetery. Blue is a good color for you. Yep. You should put on a nice blue dress.
If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. If you give us any trouble, we'll kill you. Now, just so you know we mean business, I'd like one of you to give us trouble, so we can kill him as an example to the rest. Who's it gonna be then? Oh look, we have a volunteer. The king, no less. Have at him, fellas. Ah, you may...
Today's the day you die.
It is no longer advantageous for any of us to frequent the hideout in Industrial. Presently, I shall inaugurate a new centre of operations in Bowerstone Market. You've been provided with a key which will permit access. Please endeavour to prevent its transference to an unauthorised individual.
While my accomplices spent or gambled most of their earnings, I saved every gold coin I could to fulfill my burning ambition of exploring Albion one day and becoming a great adventurer, such as the ones whose stories I'd read in two-penny pamphlets and third-hand storybooks. More than anything, I wanted to meet heroes, though I knew their heyday had long passed and that the aging ruler of the kingdom was the last. It was the death of this ruler when I was 15 years of age that marked the beginning of a series of tragedies that were to befall my family. First, my eldest brother, Jason, was killed in a duel with an irate farmer, who also happened to be the husband of Jason's last sexual conquest. The duel was fought using pitchforks, and my brother, who had never done an honest day's work in his life, made the fatal mistake of holding the farming tool the wrong way round. It was shortly after this incident that the second eldest, William, was arrested for trying to run a con game by the wrong person, a passing plainclothes townsguard. He was taken to Bowerstone and was never heard of again. Then, my third brother, Quentin, contrived to accumulate enough gambling debts to have a price put on his head. Quentin's death I remember most clearly of all, for I was unfortunate enough to witness it. When the assassins and bounty hunters came to collect his suddenly valuable head, I did what I could to protect him, but no matter how accurate the shots from my rifle, nothing could change the fact that I was shooting peas instead of bullets. I had not yet been able to afford a real weapon. It is no surprise that the next to go was my dear mother, grief-stricken by the loss of 3 of her children. She left my father a drunken widower, though drunk only when he could afford it, poverty having made his attempts to drown his sorrows all the harder. While I did what I could to help out in his shop, employing all my charm and wit to become a highly persuasive salesman, it was plain that there was never going to be much of a market for novelty toothbrushes in such a small village, and one which had made such a conscious effort to avoid any form of oral hygiene at that. Soon my father passed away too, far more sober than he would have liked.
That shooting will kill you, you know.
It does tend to obviate the entire objective of maintaining a secret hideout, if your enemies can simply infiltrate whenever they've the inclination. Lads, perform the specific services for which I employ you. Expeditiously.
Huh?
Kill him! Fast!
You're not gonna burn me. This ain't looking good. Right, right in the chop.
One more day in this cell.
I'm gonna kick your royal ass!
Okay, boys. Looks like the Grim Reaper's gonna be busy today.
You've massacred most of it, crew! I believe I can state with relative confidence that your efforts are in vain. Even should it transpire that you vanquish my associates, this door is completely impenetrable. In addition to which, this cell contains a secret egress through which I may abscond whenever I desire. Meanwhile, my compatriots shall brutalize your person.
You haven't lost your touch. I'm surprised his men were foolish enough to fight you.
Now, truth be told, my superlative intellect notwithstanding, it would appear this is not, in fact, the specific cell I so confidently referenced earlier. The one with the secret exit has 2 beds. All right, you have prevailed, Your Majesty. I concede. However, I entreat you to entertain a certain proposal.
You have nothing to offer, Ferret. It's over.
Ah, that pronouncement is objectively devoid of merit. I happen to have on my person a substantial quantity currency. Let me go free, and the money is yours.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay in there and rot. But that's for the king to decide.
You royal miscreant! This grievous malefaction shall be rewarded with equally grievous retribution.
You have made great strides, Your Majesty. Witness the glory of your treasury. Don't you just want to go swimming in all that gold? But the kingdom demands your attention once more. The time has come to make a decision on Albion's drinking laws. Under Logan's rule, our citizens are restricted in the amount of alcohol they can purchase per day. As you can imagine, this has proved a rather unpopular measure. And yet many respected members of the community think the law does not go far enough. They would like alcohol consumption wholly abolished among the commoners. They feel, rather reasonably, very good. Perhaps this is not the time to be implementing radical new measures. It will give both the gentry and the rabble something to complain about. Who knows, it may take their minds off their impending doom. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead. Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Reaver will be the voice of reason, as always.
I'm at your command. At your command.
My lord. Greetings, my lord. He's all well, my lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
That'll be exciting.
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, it was your father who opened the doors to Albion's greatest...
The Brightwall Academy will be reopened as promised, but we will charge admission fees.
The Brightwall Academy shall be reopened to those who can afford its services.
If that is how it must be, very well. But I am deeply disappointed you have broken your promise. Very good. I will make arrangements at once. Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Brightwall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. The reasonable enrollment fees are within reach of almost 1% of the population, so don't delay. Brightwall Academy. As long as you earn, it's the place to learn.
The court summons Page and Reaver. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Reaver will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the waterbed is rich in valuable metals.
We
Now,
need
as
the
amusing
resources
as
of
it
Bower
would be
Lake.
to make workers hold
It will
their
become a
breath
quarry.
as they mine these resources.
The king has
I fear
ruled.
it would be impractical.
Bower Lake shall be drained and mined for resources.
I applaud your enterprising spirit. The lake shall be drained at once.
I hope you know what you're doing, Majesty.
Behold the ugliness of nature, so
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable. A loyal and wealthy member of our community has offered to make a sizable donation to our treasury. Her only request is that you go to Millfields to make the collection in person. A perfect chance to stretch your legs, Your Majesty.
You think the academy will ever be reopened?
Tickle, 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 tickle. Hey!
My jaw's sore!
Hey!
You're that...
No, ticklish! Ticklish!
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love a good tickle.
Oh.
You're that psycho killer, ain't ya? Don't try any of that murdering business on my watch.
Ha! You're funny, but looks aren't everything.
Life is not a worthless thing to be discarded.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it, Archie!
Yeah. Woo-hoo! Oh, yay! Oh. Oh.
I know where the thief is. He fled into the woods.
Madam, I understand you want to recover what you've lost, but those woods are simply too dangerous. It would be suicide to enter them without combat experience, or training, or skill.
I don't want to enter them. I want you to.
Right. I was talking about me.
Oh, just forget it. Ah, Your Majesty, it's such an honor to have you here. If only fate hadn't conspired to make me look like a fool. Beware the woods, Your Majesty. The soldiers may be superstitious, but there's no denying dangerous beasts lurk within. Good luck. I know you will succeed. Those forests are uncharted territory. Oh, there are a lot of stories about lost villages and fairy tale creatures, but who knows how much truth there is in those?
Looking for the statue, Your Majesty? Follow the white Belverine.
Right, you monster. Prepare to meet your... Oh, I'm so sorry. For a moment there, I thought you were a Belverine. Damn things are always trying to get through our defenses. We burn silver nitrate in those lamps to keep them out. Kills them pretty quick if they hang around for too long. If a lamp goes out, well, I don't like to think what might happen then. One went out just recently, but we got it lit again fast. The man responsible, this bloke Connor, got punished severely. Before he disappears into the forest, he tells us there's gonna be a reckoning. He's probably in 20...
I hope you're well. It's our mighty king. Hello.
Here it comes, here it comes.
Nice weapon you've got there. What are you? Compensating for
I've been
something?
waiting for ages for the academy to reopen. Now I can't even afford to get in.
Ah, it's the great ruler.
Those are nice
Hello.
shoes. But don't you think your grand's feet are cold without them?
Castle's been done. Bright light colours and that. All sounds lovely.
I just love that place. now, I'm afraid.
Heard any interesting news lately? How did Reaver convince the...
Sir?
Your Majesty, I've been expecting you. You've been through the village, have you? Charming hamlet. It's full of warm, wonderful people who'll give you the shirt off their back and condemn you to death for one simple mistake. Anyone can fall asleep on watch. You exile him into this forest and call it justice? But enough about that. You're here for that statue. It's quite a remarkable thing. It did everything the legend said it would. And now I don't need it anymore. It's funny how things change. So if you want to take it back to that prig in Millfields, it's yours. Nearly free of charge. All I ask is a small favor. Destroy those silver nitrate lanterns. Then the village will get a taste of justice. The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you. Ah, well. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Still, your choice won't save the village. Now that I'm the leader of the pack, we've got some brains to go with our brawn. We'll lose a few of the weaker members, but we'll deal with those lanterns on our own. In the meantime, killing you will be a good way to, shall we say, get the blood flowing. it. Your Majesty, but not strong enough. Prepare yourself for death.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You've saved us from certain destruction. We're in your debt. You'll always be welcome here, should you wish to return. Connor had this on him. It looks like a Belverine. It's yours if you want it.
Part of the world. A death wish, perhaps?
How good to see you, sir.
You are great among the
Impressive.
great. Super great. Greater than great.
Ah!
Wow, you are impressive. I'll give you that.
You're that murderer, aren't you? Should have joined with the mercs, could have got...
We're gonna take you down!
That was too easy!
At your service, my king.
You're back. Did you find the thief? Did you recover the statue?
Of course he did.
You found it? Oh, I can barely contain my tears. Oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. I can't let...
A magnanimous gesture indeed. Your subjects are lucky to be ruled by one so giving. With the fatidic attack not far away now, it is most encouraging to see the Treasury doing so well. It makes one feel safer. I have taken to sleeping beneath the gold, actually. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan, a most astute and sensible choice. Financial ruin may bring much distress to your people, but the darkness brings certain death. Shall we proceed with today's agenda? Kalin, the representative for the Auroran people, has requested an audience with you. The court awaits in the throne room.
My king. Attention! Majesty.
Greetings, sir.
At your orders, sir?
His Majesty, the King of Albion. Today you must decide how much protection to grant Aurora. Kalin will offer her proposal. Riva will stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, as you know, the threat from the deserts that surrounds my city has not diminished. The darkness could fall upon us once more at any moment. Aurora is part of your kingdom now, and I ask that you grant us protection. Build a desert outpost that can warn...
An outpost would be a waste of resources. Aurora is safe enough for now.
The King's decision is final. The military presence on the streets of Aurora is deemed sufficient for the protection of its citizens.
It is heartening to see reason prevail. Bravo, Your Majesty, bravo!
We saved your life once. Now you condemn us to death? Is that your idea of fair requital?
Bring forth Sabine of the Mistpeak Dwellers. Today, you decide on the fate of Mistpeak, home of the Dwellers, Your Majesty. Sabine will speak for his people and their land. Riva will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
I come here seeking nothing but what was promised me and my people. You pledged to restore our home mountains and our right to dwell in them. We have fulfilled our end of the bargain. We have paid with...
The forests of Mistpeak are too important to waste. They will make a valuable resource.
Mistpeak and its forests shall be logged to fuel the kingdom's defense efforts.
You have made an enemy for life, King. Beware a second revolution doesn't take this land before you can save it.
The forests of Mistpeak are our greatest national treasure, and now, thanks to Riva Industries, you can enjoy them too. Ships, weapons, and furniture are just some of the many wonders available to you now. Remember, nature wants us.
Happy anniversary, Your Majesty. 1 year as King of Albion. Doesn't time just fly? To celebrate this momentous day, I have prepared some fantastic events. First, you will stand still for several hours while a local artist paints your portrait. Then, you will choose the 47 varieties of flowers you wish to be cast at your feet as you parade through the city. Oh, and you will need to sign thousands of autographs, of course. Let's see, you will also be...
The day has come, King. It is time for you to face the darkness. But you will do so in your true form. Over the past year, you have made decisions that reveal your nature, and which have affected the lives of all your subjects. Many see you as a tyrant, but you have done what was necessary to save your people. But you are more than a king. You are a hero. You are Albion's champion, its protector. This coming battle is the reason you had to take Logan's place. Only you can defeat the creature that dwells in the shadows. If you do not, all your efforts will have been in vain. Now go. Do what you were born to do.
It's here. The darkness has reached Power Stone. Reports indicate that our defenses were able to hold off the worst of the first attack. But if we don't act quickly, even the armies we prepared for this day will not be enough.
We have to get out on the streets, now!
Today we fight for Albion!
For Albion!
Defend the city with your lives!
That looks bad.
Nice one! He's not getting up again. Yes! No armor is stopping us. Nice one! He's not getting up again. That shot like us, we might stand a chance. Does that thing ever shut up? I'm taking some serious punishment here.
The Lightbringers have come! But this is the kingdom of unlight now! This is the kingdom of death!
That armor is thick, but you will you please keep your distance so I can shoot you?
Don't listen to it! It will drive you insane! Don't listen!
Watch us fly into rise of your young, the gurgle of a freshly ripped throat. We give thanks for your desperation. Provoke us with the bone gleam shining from your broken bodies. It is a transgression against the night. Be sightless, for that is the most blessed state of being. It is our gift to you. Flowers the children will pick and cast into death. They might be shadows. You can never escape darkness. It flocks to you always.
Surprised you're still standing after that!
The Dark Guardian shall come and protect us.
How are we supposed to get past it? No one is stopping you, is it? I'm surprised you're still standing after that! Nice one! He's not getting up again. They'll keep coming.
Who made you? Who crafted such slight, flimsy forms? You rip like insect wings in our hands.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Only everyone else
Such a lost people. Why do you cry for such alien things? Mercy and help and love have no substance in the dark.
you're not even a shadow. These beasts pack a real butt. Nice one. He's not getting up again. Oh, they're everywhere. Good job these things die so easily.
Sing your chorus, Albion. It soars above you, a beautiful cloud, an invisible death mask for your world.
It's here. I hope these buggers stay dead.
and always.
I can feel it. We're getting close to that thing. Where are you? Show yourself.
The lost sheep returns to the flock. No one ever leaves the darkness behind. Do you see? Do you see what you have allowed? We are all shadows now.
Hey, I can't get through!
I have killed so many of you
I
already.
think whatever's inside them just got fried.
Why fight me any longer?
No! Let me go! Let me go! Why did you do this to me? I only want to care for you. Am I not your father? You made us do it. You made us. No. Let me go. Let me go. I am shadow and death. You have done terrible things. Did you think I wouldn't know? Did you think I would allow?
I'm sorry.
You took away the darkness. It's been inside me all this time. But it's light now. I can see the sky. And it's light. I don't think I can fight anymore.
It's all over, Walter. We won. We beat it together.
Do you remember the stories I tell you when you were a child? There was a great king once, the mightiest hero of them all. Remember what you would say?
Teach me to be a hero.
You've done me proud, boy. You've always done me proud.
Oh, Walter.
I think old Walter would have liked it out here. He was always a fan of looking tall and stony. I can imagine what he'd say if he was here now.
Shut up, Ben.
Exactly.
Walter was right about you. You're a hero in every sense of the word. The hero Albion needed.
What will you do now?
I will continue to serve you the best way I can. I belong down in the city. The people there will always need help. Goodbye, my king.
You have done what I thought impossible. You are the ruler I could never be. You don't need me anymore, and Albion will heal easier without me.
Well, King, old chum, ruler supreme, pal, you did it. You saved the kingdom. And it's time I said my goodbyes. I'm not cut out to be a general. And I think I'd like to start travelling again. Or maybe see if Paige needs any help down in Industrial. But before I go, let's send off our friend in style, shall we? This one's for you, Walter.
This is the world as it could have been, devoid of color, devoid of life. It is thanks to you that it isn't so, and you ruled as strong leaders should. It is not everyone who understands the necessity of making sacrifices. It is what fate requires of us. You were brave to break your promise to Sabine and his people, but it is through such decisions that wars are won and lost. You swore an oath to Paige to better the lives of your people. And you did so, even in the face of great danger. You understood, as your brother did, that Aurora was a doomed land from the start. Saving Albion was always more important. Without the strength to make those choices, we would not be standing here now. Perhaps we shall meet again one day, King.
Aren't you going to tell me my future?
The future will reveal itself when it is ready to do so.
You have...